Ms. Foo Mee Har.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the motion to thank our President for her address. The 13th Parliament is reopening in rosier times. Measures which the government put in place over the last few years are beginning to show green shoots. Last year, our economy grew at 3.6%, exceeding forecasts. Overall, labour productivity grew at 4.5%, marking the highest productivity growth since 2010. Fewer workers were retrenched for the first time in 7 years, and real wages rose steadily for all income groups. Yet, the President reminded us that our long-term challenges remain broadly unchanged. Our economy needs to restructure towards higher value-added activities and stay dynamic. We need to secure Singapore's place in the world, and we need to stay focused on upgrading skills, and we need to forge a caring and inclusive society. And we must keep up our efforts to make Singapore an exceptional nation. I'm encouraged by the determination and resolve of the 4G leadership that I sense through the President's address. I'm excited by the appetite to undertake bold changes needed to navigate the uncharted waters that lie ahead for Singapore. These attributes are necessary to take Singapore forward to our next phase of development. Mr. Speaker, I would like to focus my speech on Singapore's priority to develop a vibrant economy with good jobs and opportunities for workers. In order to sustain a vibrant economy despite an aging population, a tight labour market, and the changing nature of work brought on by technological disruptions, we really need fresh perspectives, breakthrough ideas, and decisive action to lead us there. The current tight labour market is really a key constraint for business growth. Growth in our local workforce is expected to slow further, unfortunately. A recent study by Korn Ferry FutureStep predicted that Singapore will be one of the countries with the highest risk of a severe talent crunch, estimating that we will be short of more than 1 million skilled workers by 2030. This issue of talent and jobs is closely linked to the accelerating pace of technological disruption in transforming industries, business models, and jobs. The future of work is now one of the hottest topics in many industries, provoking much debate and predictions about the impact of automation technology like artificial intelligence and robotics on jobs, skills, and wages. I, for one, do not think, or we need not surrender to the nightmare scenario where we would all be replaced by robots. The most significant disruption will come from an increasing rate of change in job disruption and job creation, including new forms of work, as well as skill churns within existing occupations. Machine learning and robotics will replace specific tasks previously performed by humans, freeing them to focus on new tasks and leading to rapidly changing core skill sets in various occupations. Workers will have to learn new skills to work alongside increasingly capable machines. Therefore, in order to avoid having a class of people becoming unemployed and underemployed, it is imperative that we develop effective strategies to help Singaporeans make the transition, have them retrain, reskill, and capable of performing new kinds of work. As the fourth industrial revolution takes hold in different industries and job families, it unfortunately will affect different segments of society differently. Automation promises great gains to higher skilled workers who can innovate, create, and apply new developments, whilst mid to low skilled workers will be at greatest risk of being replaced by technology. And here, we must guard against the increasing polarization of employability, which will exacerbate income inequality. Job families expecting the highest employment growth in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics currently have some of the lowest female participation rates and continue to find it much harder to recruit women. Yet, at the same time, women are overrepresented in other job families such as office and administrative roles, the ones that are expected to experience heavy disruptions. Seniors are more adversely affected than younger workers. The government must put in place the necessary measures to ensure equal opportunities for all and avoid inequality being exacerbated by the digital divide. Mr. Speaker, if it is any consolation at all, Singapore is not alone in facing this digital challenge. Nations the world over are struggling to deal with social and political implications of impact to jobs and society brought about by information technology, artificial intelligence, and robotics. In fact, the World Economic Forum's white paper on realizing human potential in the fourth industrial revolution actually highlights Singapore's Skills Future movement as a global best practice and role model. I applaud the government for launching this visionary initiative as far back as 2015. I think it's time that we step on the accelerator for Skills Future. If it is to go the distance that we'd expect, at the speed it needs to. The movement needs to evolve from one that prides itself on offering thousands of courses in a plethora of fields, catering to individuals' interests, to a system that lays out a clear path linking lifelong learning to skills and jobs dynamically. It needs to become the new engine of education that drives Singapore's growth and development in much the same way that educating and training our children and young adults has helped propel our growth over the last 50 years. We need to move from front-loading our citizens' education in the earlier part of their lives to helping them learn at all stages of their lives. We need to develop lifelong learning institutions as well as the necessary discipline and comprehensive infrastructure to ensure that a strong culture of learning and an ecosystem of continuing education take root. The World Economic Forum's report on the future of jobs estimate that 35% of core skills required to perform today's job will change or be wholly new by the year 2020. So 35% change or new by 2020. Skills Future must be capable of providing the adult learning that is vital to ensure today's entire workforce can cope with the disruptions to come and be prepared for new skills requirements in both existing and new roles. To achieve this, Skills Future needs to partner with academic institutions, vocational training providers, trade associations and employers to develop and incentivize customized training solutions capable of lifting skills level of the whole workforce, industry by industry. With our economic transformation efforts focused around 23 industry transformation maps, ITMs, I urge the government to consider launching Skills Future for ITMs in order to ensure strong alignment of training efforts with industry needs and future growth. Trade associations and industry task forces in the respective ITMs should play an active role with training providers in defining competency-based credentialing and recognition systems, as well as creating a continuous feedback loop between labour markets needs and training requirements. They should collaborate to develop robust and scalable training interventions to benefit the whole industry cluster, lifting skill levels in the sector through systematic accreditation of workers. Mr. Speaker, despite our best efforts, the rate of technological disruption will probably result in some degree of job displacement. For some workers, it may even occur multiple times during their careers. We must therefore strengthen the support system for dislocated workers. The key is to ensure that they are re-employed quickly to avoid sticky unemployment or underemployment. Based on the feedback from my residents who have tried finding jobs through current employment services centres, it is evident that the operating model will have to evolve to include new partnerships and mechanisms that better connect workers to jobs and jobs to workers. Job matching efforts should be integrated with skills future and ITMs, as well as income safety nets during periods of displacement. There should be early warning systems for possible layoffs and rapid response mechanism for career counseling and job placements, tightly coordinated. Even as we work on positioning Singaporeans favorably in the global marketplace for talent, Singapore must remain a magnet for expertise that our industry need, but cannot fill locally. We must deal squarely with calls for help from businesses struggling with manpower shortages. I support the manpower lean approach as the way forward and agree we should maintain the overall ratio of local to foreign talent in our workforce. However, we should review our foreign manpower policy to introduce a differentiated intake approach to enable acquisition of capability in new domains critical to Singapore's future growth, such as expertise in data analytics, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and so on, whilst balancing this with reduced intakes in other areas. So rather than adopting a one-size-fits-all approach, manpower policy should evolve to include skill-based factors that prioritizes certain types of skills and expertise over others within a quota system. This system should provide transparency and predictability in order to help companies plan their growth strategies in Singapore. Mr. Speaker, we are confronted with formidable challenges that require new ways of thinking about education and training, not just for a season, but for a lifetime. But we have been here before. In 1974, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew said, "Our lives and our children's future must be built on solid infrastructure of education and skills, tuned to high performance by efficient management, always able to respond quickly to sudden changes in the world." Just as we were called upon in the country's early years to take our fledgling nation of poorly skilled factory laborers to one that served up world-class manufacturing and top-flight services, so we are now called upon once again to shape Singapore's future of work. This will be an undertaking for all Singaporeans, government leaders, corporations and individuals, everyone playing their part and aligned towards the same vision. We must be equal to the task for the sake of our future. I support the motion.